What a wild ride it's been for the Denver Broncos over the last 12 months. They began last season with Kyle Orton as their starting quarterback, started 1-4, last place in the AFC West. At that time, people were saying they were contenders for the Andrew Luck sweepstakes, meaning they could finish with the worst record in the league and have the first pick in the draft. Well, they turned to young quarterback Tim Tebow. Tebow in his second year out of Florida, wildly popular due to all his collegiate success at Florida. A lot of people thought he couldn't play quarterback in the NFL due to his unorthodox throwing motion. Many people questioned his accuracy, saying he just wasn't accurate enough to play quarterback in the NFL. Those people underestimated, though, this guy's running ability. This guy runs it as well as any quarterback maybe we've ever seen in the NFL. Doesn't quite have the speed of a Michael Vick, but can run in between the tackles in a way that Vick or maybe no other quarterback outside of possibly Cam Newton can. So Tebow parlayed that running ability and his underrated passing into a winning streak, won 6 games in a row, won 7 out of 8 games upon taking over. Broncos ended up winning the AFC West, which seemed a completely improbable outcome through 5 weeks of the season. Went on to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the playoffs. Big upset win. Steelers had the number 1 ranked defense in the league, number 1 ranked pass defense. Tebow lit them up for over 300 yards, doing things that many of his critics said he couldn't do. What did Tebow get for all this? He got shipped out of town. A couple of months later, once NFL free agency hit, Peyton Manning, maybe the greatest quarterback in NFL history, who coming off of 3 neck surgeries and of course did not play last year, his time in Indianapolis was done, so he began his world tour to see where he would continue his NFL career, and he decided on Denver. Now, Manning did not feel comfortable having Tebow as his backup. Understandable, given Tebow's legions of fans, and if Manning were to somehow struggle or if Denver were to lose early, people would no doubt be screaming for Tebow. So Denver shipped Tebow off. He landed in New York with the Jets. He'll platoon with Mark Sanchez over there. They'll sort of use him in a gimmick role, at least in the beginning of the season. We'll see how that turns out for the Jets. As far as the Broncos go, they now have a quarterback who, again, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest quarterback in the history of the league. However, Manning is 36 years old, coming off of 3 neck surgeries, did not play at all last year, so this is a risk for John Elway. If this doesn't work out, if Tebow somehow goes on to have a good pro career, if it doesn't work out for Manning in Denver, either if he's lost something, maybe his arm's not strong enough anymore, if he can't hold up, if the injuries get to him, then this is going to be looked at as a failure by John Elway. If not, if Manning is Manning, then Denver fans don't have anything to worry about, and their offense is going to be excellent. Now, Manning, when he was with Indianapolis, they had a bad defense throughout his tenure. He was surrounded with some good wide receivers, never had a real strong running game, at least after Edgerrin James left that team. Yet the Colts were a 12-13 win juggernaut year after year, primarily because of one Peyton Manning. Broncos have a couple of good young wide receivers, Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, signed Andre Caldwell this offseason, so Manning's got some pieces there, and if he's himself, then I expect the Denver Broncos offense to look just like the Indianapolis Colts offense looked for years and years. Now, defensively, the Broncos have some pieces, but they had some work to do. Not very good in the secondary last year. Did make a couple of additions, signing safety Mike Adams, cornerback Tracy Porter to try to bolster that secondary. New defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, longtime Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, now over there to coordinate the defense in Denver. Now, Denver has a couple of great bookend pass rushers in Von Miller and Elvis Dumervil. They are able to put heat on the quarterback, which should help that secondary. But they were susceptible last year to getting beat with the pass, giving up 40 points several times. I believe 5 different occasions last year the Denver Broncos defense gave up 40 points or more. That was more than any defense in the league. Obviously, they'll need to correct that if they hope to make the postseason again this year. Now, they're in the AFC West, which they won last year, but I think the San Diego Chargers are going to be better than people think this year. So Denver's going to have their hands full, I believe, beating San Diego and winning that division. But if Manning is Manning, then the rest of the AFC might have their hands full with the Denver Broncos. As far as Super Bowl goes, Vegas has Denver at 14-1 right now to win it, due in large part to Manning. These odds jumped as soon as Peyton Manning was signed. They can be had at 21-1 on BETDAQ, which, hey, if Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning, I keep on saying if, but I've seen this guy play for so many years, and he is so good. I am such a believer in this guy and what he can do that I believe if he is himself, 21-1 on the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl may be the best bet out there, period. However, it's a big if with Peyton Manning. Hey, the last time he missed an extended amount of time, missed almost the entire preseason a few years ago with the Indianapolis Colts, it took him several games. It took him almost half a season to really get back to playing the type of football that he's used to playing. Now he's missed a whole year. He's older. He's had all these surgeries. What do you make of this? What will we see? It'll be very interesting. Now, we'll get to see it a lot because Denver is going to be on national TV more than any team in the NFL this year. So we'll get to see plenty of Peyton Manning, plenty of the Denver Broncos. Last year, the Denver Broncos really became a national story with Tebow mania and all that went with it. And now that they've brought in Peyton Manning, that's just going to roll right on and continue. I'll be watching the Denver Broncos this year, and I know you will too.